Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. This is your boy Dilawar Khan coming in with a new quick topic to discuss about, and the title says it as it all, how to be resilient. Yes, that is the topic we're going to talk about. Some might you find it a little bit boring, a little bit daunting, a little bit too confronting in general, but let's try to put it and break it down for you guys in simple manner. This is more of a relaxed approach that I have to my talkative videos. I don't want to structure it in a way that this is the hard and fast rule, but these are my sort of personal experiences that I always love to share in front of the camera to you guys, to whoever follows me, to kind of take something away and feel a little extra motivated. So one is going to be, as you guys know, this channel is all about fashion, fitness, lifestyle, confidence, and stuff that I personally have done to transform myself, who is genuinely happy in what he does, genuinely really thrilled about every single day, and even no matter what his up and downs take over, he doesn't let them pretty much dictate his whole week or days or life pretty much. And the way that kind of worked out, sorry, we're distracted. The way that kind of works out is, firstly, I want to talk about fitness, such a big thing. A lot of people tune out when I talk about fitness because some people follow me for fashion, some people actually not find themselves motivated, especially in tough times like this, to go into fitness, and that's completely understandable. However, it is one of the biggest factors that makes me and will make you resilient. The aspect of fitness is nothing to do with physical achievement, because that is just a complementary or of like a benefit that you get by being fit. So it's more of like cream on the top of a chocolate ice cream that you get, regardless of the fact you're going to sit down in a cafe and you're going to have the food. You going there for the chocolate itself. The cream is just going to come on the top for the topping, right? So that's the way I kind of look at physical appearance in terms of fitness, but the way it has made me resilient. Because let's just quickly define resilient for you if you don't understand. What it is your capacity to deal with toughness and difficulties that has been approached in life to you. So I guess to put it in the best way manner, how do you actually adapt? That sublinks with it. How do you actually move forward with shit that is being thrown onto you on a day-to-day, weekly, monthly, yearly basis? That could be from any aspect. That could be from financial, number one, which is very monetary. I definitely don't go that way at all, because I've completely subsided away from attaching my personal needs to financial, and that's one of the ways I'm able to keep really happy in my life and do a lot of certain passionful projects without thinking too much about the money. But coming back, like I said, financial is one. Family is second, with relationships, spiritual, emotional, your self-development, so you're like your internal self, like the way you feel about yourself. All of these things challenge you. Resilience capacity is tested every single time in your subconscious or your consciousness. And this is something we really just overlook so easily, because we're so busy into day-to-day mundane tasks and stuff that the world throws at us, because we are so occupied in doing that. But we forget like some of the personal skill set that you have goes into it. It's the fueling force, or the energy that you are providing to do those things right. And one of the biggest things is resilience. How do you move forward with shit that's been thrown to you? So fitness, going back into the place again and again and putting your body through a certain minute. When I say number, I mean minutes of challenge every day. And that is 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours. If you really love gym like me, you can pick a number and just go. And you don't have to do it every day, but if you pick a schedule, you plan yourself out and you put your body through a certain amount of fatigue every day, mentally, physically, emotionally, you are making yourself stronger. You're making yourself a person who's gonna be able to deal with anything in life. Your resilience level is gonna be up there. And trust me, like when I talk about this, like I really dive deep into it. And the reason I put it unorganized rather than making like a very structured video, because I'm just like an average Joe, like you guys are watching me. And there's a lot of things I didn't have just a few years ago, internally, mentally, and there was no one like I was personally approaching to talk to about this. But instead I was searching myself, which took me a longer time to do all of this. And it goes really close to my heart that that person wasn't any good for me. When I talk about that person, that was me before. He didn't know any better, which was one thing, but at the same time, he wasn't any good for me at that point in time. And if I had the chance to change that person around at that point in time, I would have done it, but I didn't know any better. My resilience was way down there. I would get affected by the little things so much more than I would get right now. And I'm able to, I don't want to put like a very stiff alpha word of saying tackle the day, like push through the day. I don't want to come off as harsh. Just being able to take the hit and move on, like, simple stuff. You always want to keep things simple in your life. Like, that's how you build better relationships. That's how you build better connections. Relationship connections, the same thing, sorry. That's how you build better building blocks, I guess that's how you that's my motto of life, like able to just take in day by day and be happy about whatever I do. So I guess fitness, number one, please get on it. You are gonna see a huge difference in the way your mind works, everything, and how resilient you become. I can almost guarantee you with that, with 99% certainty, even 100 to be honest. Now, second one. This is also which goes close to my heart, and I'm going to probably read it one more time because I really love it. It's The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. It's very spiritual, emotional, how you achieve like internal happiness in the world, and it's about a great lawyer who basically sells everything off and hides in the mountains and becomes a monk, and then his student goes up chasing him, and then he enlightens him with all the learnings he had. But in general, there's one thing that he says to basically apply in your life to have an abundant amount of knowledge. It centers around the whole notion of lifelong learning and expanding your knowledge base for the good for yourself and those around you. I want to relate to this is personally, just for the last few years, I've really shifted my mindset. I've really shifted my mindset to be a person who is very pushy towards outgrowing his own self. Very overwhelming to some people around me, and I've outgrown some of my friendships. I'm going to be very honest with you guys, and not that I'm any smarter, but it's just I've just moved on to better and different things in my life. And then when I say by better, I don't mean financial. I say this very clearly. Some of my friends are doing very well as compared to me in financial means, but in terms of habits, in terms of knowledge, that is something I have owed myself a very strict promise to never stop doing. And this is where the resilience comes in. So when you have an abundant amount of knowledge, right, or sometimes, like I would say, devote a certain time every day to do one thing different, completely different. Very quick example. I was a finance person, so I graduated with a finance double major, like economics and finance major in my university, and I was on the path to make six-figure income, and I was moving my way up in a bank. Very successful career was in front of me. And I felt very, very empty-minded, and inside of me internally I felt completely shallow, because not only the context I was learning throughout the university didn't give me any value personally in the workforce itself, as well as I felt completely lost. I felt what I was going for in my workforce wasn't contributing to what I personally learned, and as well as what my goal was. And it was a very, very, very mentally challenging time for me because I created this whole inferior image of myself, which was very toxic and damaging to me and people around me. And the way I kind of come out of it over the years is one thing I've kind of been very honest to once I did devote myself to this cause, and I've never changed that, is to learn a new skill every quarter of the year. I learned how to do content creation. I learned how to do Lightroom editing myself. I learned how to do simple Final Cut Pro editing. I learned how to do simple photography. I learned how to do making videography. I learned how to do using light system, which still sucks to at some point. And I learned a lot of things. And I want to open that up in front of this channel because I feel like I've always held myself back thinking I'm not doing enough, but I was doing a lot. And that made me resilient. That made me, coming back to my initial point, very, very resilient to coming and facing challenges. Simple challenges like coming within my family, for example. Simple challenges coming in my past relationships. The way I approached them mentally completely changed. It was a game changer. I had a grin on my face regardless of what shit I would be going through. Maybe internally some of the days I really felt like shit, but majority of the time I felt like, oh, DK, Mr. Khan, don't worry. I know it looks like shit, but I'll come out of it. You see, how that mentality changed to be able to so resilient. Doesn't matter what comes through. My lane and whatever I was working towards and building towards and just honing on towards was 1, 2, 3, and that's the way it was going, regardless of whatever challenges it was coming. If my lane was this, I would stay in this. I would do other things, I would try other stuff, I would keep myself mentally stimulated. My mental juices were flowing all the time because I was loving what I was doing, because I was constantly pushing myself to build on something, right? So I guess it incorporates two things at the same time. When you're trying to learn a new knowledge, you're also going to try to build a habit. For example, if you're trying to read a book in the morning, that's a habit itself. It took me a long time, and I talk about this very openly because I want to relate to people who can't read. I'm like plus 25, and it took me a long time to like sit down and read a bloody book. I don't even know how I graduated with university with a credit average. And I did very well in a few of my semesters, and I never failed. I did everything at a normal level. You know, I wasn't like the super high HD student, but I did things on time and I got shit sorted when I needed to. But I guess when it comes to that way, I could not sit down and read a book. I literally could not. Like, I would have all the distractions in the world, but that changed. And that changed because I was putting the time to really be just pushing myself to learn something new. Sit in front of a computer, watch a video, listen to a podcast. Anything I would do to just fill the gap, to really put myself in a place, okay, this day I actually learned something new. I might not retain everything, 100% not. The way I kind of take information, I can guarantee you I don't retain like 40% of it, which is very inefficient. That's why I started making notes for a lot of things. But coming back to the topic, it's making me resilient. It's making me comfortable in my own mental, physical existence. To be able to have a chat with someone, to be able to relate to someone, to be able to put the message out, to be able to apply anything in my own life. So I guess that's the number 2 I want to put out. Always hone down into learning a lot about anything and everything. There is no barrier. We are living in the best time in the world, and nothing could have been better for us. We are highly ungrateful people. I was an ungrateful bastard. If you're watching this and you feel like life isn't enough, you probably are somewhere ungrateful too. Regardless of what's going on in your life, and this is not to confront you, but to let you know that there's a lot to put into your brain, which is valuable, and that's going to apply into your daily, long-term, short-term skill set. And the last one's going to be my personal favorite, being self-aware. Yes, the way this connects to resilience is that being self-aware is gonna give you the best ability to consciously make the right decisions. This is not a flip a switch technique or a skill or an attribute or a character that you can just build. It took me so freaking long, and it is definitely one of the things that I have conditioned myself over the year, and I am super happy that I have, because only if I was not self-aware, I would never be able to change my life around, change careers, learn new things, do the stuff that makes me happy so I can make other people happy, and as well as put value in my life and other people's life. And that purely came from self-awareness. I feel like there's a lot of people out there who love to rub it off under saying, I'm gonna do this when I get plus 30, or I have a lot of time in the world to do this. I don't need to be so self-conscious. They mix things up, being self-aware to self-consciousness. Two different things. Just being aware of yourself makes you so much more confident and comfortable in your own skin. There's a lot of people who talk negatively about their own self-image. Pause. Coming back, myself, the older self, did the same thing, and I had to change that. I had to really hone into like, why the hell was I talking to myself a certain way? And a part of that was a process that I was going through in self-awareness, doing things a certain way, following certain trends, making patterns for myself, which were inhibiting my process in every single way. So a part of that is hugely contributed by self-awareness, which directly related to making me more resilient. If I wasn't self-aware, if I wasn't taking the right actions to really put myself in a place where my mental, my body, my relationships, my own self-talk wasn't in the right place, which is a huge thing, especially now when you're like locked down. If you don't have a lot of people around you, or if you do, you don't want to see them because you're seeing them every day. What's the one thing that you're gonna need in your pocket, or in your body, or in your own mind, or wherever you want to put it? It's your own self-awareness of you knowing that this is the right thing or not the right thing. And it's going to be terribly difficult for people who are very young, because your brain's everywhere when you're a kid. It's not going to make any sense when I'm talking to you like, this guy's boring, what is he talking about? And I wish someone could just sit down and tell me that, because when they did, I probably rubbed it off too, to a certain point. But there's definitely certain techniques that you can apply for being self-aware, and the first thing you can do is literally taking your physical condition of your health, about your body, your mind, into your control. And that's kind of the biggest, easiest thing I can tell you to start from. I'm just going to put it back to the fitness, because you don't have to do a lot. You just have to do you in fitness. You just have to do you for 1 to 2 hours of the day to start becoming self-aware. You don't have to do a lot. People start talking about, I want to control my mind, I want to control my thoughts, I want to start reading, I want to get this new financial goal, I want to just hit that, I want to save all the money, I want to be locked in, I don't want to see friends. That's just too much happening. And I was going through the same thing. Like, I was doing that again and again, thinking like, I'm going to be the highest productive motherfucker out there, like no one will be able to outrun me, I'll do this, I'll be able to build that, I'll be able to, and all that happened was I came down crashing. And if I didn't crash, I was just not able to deliver myself anything properly. I was just all over the place. So being self-aware makes you to the point that you just know what your ability is, and you just work from it. You just work from there on yourself. That's it. Life is not a race. It is a you versus you kind of thing. But as long as you're self-aware and you're kind of improving yourself and polishing yourself up in some good aspect of your life and getting rid of the cluster in everywhere, you're doing good, man. You're doing more than 80% of the people in this world. It seems on social that everyone's got their shit together. Sometimes I come off like that. I don't. There's few things I just don't want to put out in camera because I feel like I'm still working on them, but it's taking me so long and I have a long way to go. My God, I've come a long way. And I would love to put that on camera and help even one of you. So thank you so much for tuning in. 3 different reasons. I'll just quickly put that through as a recap. Is fitness, is searching or for reaching out for abundant knowledge, and being self-aware. The way that you'll be able to, majority of the time, face any difficulties that you're faced in life. And even if you're not, don't be too harsh on yourself, because that's where you're gonna start discovering what the hell are you not capable of. And still, I've got so much to deal with. I've got so much to learn, but we're growing. So I hope you guys like this video. Hope you guys like all the factors as well. If you did, please leave a comment, subscribe, like. I love personal development, I love fashion, I love fitness, and I love lifestyle, food videos. So I'll keep putting out that. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Love you all. Fam, fit fam, all of the fam. How's everyone doing? This is a quick little intro I'm putting out on my fancy camera for Instagram to let you guys know I put up a new video today, and I just kind of want you to go check it out. It's something that is super easy, stuff that you guys can relate to. It's one talking about resilience, which I wish you guys will be able to relate to, because everyone is in need of resilience at this point in time in some aspect of their life. So if you're watching this little story and you feel like resilience is something that you're lacking in some aspect of your life, especially the kids, the young ones out there who's following, please go check this video out, link in the bio.